Now check out the things how the MapReduce will be same thing, same the word count will be example will be executed in terms of MapReduce and architectural daemons. Suppose we already seen this is a name node, we have a standby name node also available in the 2.x, we have checkpoint name node, and here as the name node which will be connected with the multiple data nodes. Yes or no? Yes, these are the multiple data nodes I am expecting to store actual data information. Yesterday already we already discussed that name node is responsible to maintain a metadata information about wherein what are the data nodes are concluding the exact locations of each in an individual blocks. And here now it is time to look about, if you want to store actual data means it we have to ask the data nodes only, the actual location of a data, our actual data. And here suppose the first of all we have to give the input to the name node only. We never interact with the data nodes directly. We have to interact with the name node only. And we are executing the MapReduce as the process components. Yes or no? If you want to perform the processing means we have to take the help of MapReduce and we have to take the help of architectural daemons of a processing component also. We already seen the name node, data node, secondary name node, standby node, these all are the daemons of a storage components. If you want to perform these actions means, these processing actions means, we have to take the help of resource manager and node manager which internally takes the help of job tracker and task tracker. Fine. We have a job tracker here in the name node and each and every data node may have the task tracker. Fine. Here I am giving this information. I want to give this as an input to the name node. How you can say that this is the actual information? Actually this input is also stored in the data nodes, in any one of the data node. Let's have a look about this my.txt. Obviously may take, it is, if you take this is as an exact example means it may take less than 64 MB. Meanwhile it allocates only one block. Yes or no? Up to 64 MB it will take in only one block to store the entire content. As the B1 it may be stored in the data node 1. Let's take note, the B1 is located in the data node 1. And here if you want to perform this action, whenever you are sending the request to the, I want to perform word count on top of my.txt. This is the request we are sending to the name node, as the name node will take the request and to perform this convert into the response before it must be processes. Here name node will understand, it takes the help of metadata information and it will search for the in which data node we have the exact block location. It will find out the B1. Fine. Before going to things, how many replications will be maintained as part of the Hadoop architecture? We have 3. Like we have a B1 in D1, like this in any one of the 2 nodes also we have the B1 namespace. Here suppose suddenly the data node 1 is not executed in the execution, then it will be performing, it will give the hand over the entire job to the data node 3 as part of the speculative execution. Fine. Now if you want to retrieve this name node, fine, the job tracker will assign the work to the name node, please retrieve the content of a B1 and it will give the task to the task tracker. The task tracker will fetch the entire data node 1 up for B1 block. Then after finding this it will hand over to the name node, we got the location like this information. Fine. This before after confirming this we have find that in the data node 1 only we have the B1 name, B1 block. Fine. And here as part of the internal architecture, as part of the MapReduce, we have to convert the into a blocks into a in the types of input splits. I will tell you what is the architecture of a input split. Here till now we have seen the blocks. If you want to how we can represent the exact files means in the point of a blocks only. Fine. As part of the blocks, as the physical location of a actual data information in the Hadoop cluster, here the input split are the logical representation of a actual data in the process of MapReduce lifecycle. Okay, here what is the part of input split and how we can perform is I will tell you. See, we have how many blocks are there? We have only one block is there, and we have to perform the word count. Fine. We already given the HDFS. Let's come back to the HDFS. As the Hadoop feature, HDFS feature, here we never transform the data to one node to another node. We are always transfer the logic to the nearby the data itself. Here, suppose we have to write the word count logic and we have to transform the logic to the in the place where the B1 block is there. We are transform the entire logic to the data node 1 only. We are not fetching the B1 block to the name node and we are not executing things. Fine. Okay, we transform the logic and we want to execute into on top of this block. Okay, and here before if we executing this mapper phase, what is the first phase of map reduce? Mapper phase. Before starting this map reduce first phase, mapper phase, here it will initiate the input splits based on the block sizes. If we never give the input split size in terms of a configuration file as a programmatical, it will take the exact space which occupied by the block only. Actually, as a block means it allocate 64 MB as the default space which is included in the Hadoop cluster. The same memory space will be allocated for the input split also. Okay, suppose input split also have the 64 MB. Now I didn't specify size for the split, and the entire block will be copied into the input split. Suppose we have this much of information, right? This entire data will be copied into a input split. Suppose it may be okay. Let me conclude with this. Let me fulfill this entire example. Then I will tell you. We have initiated a input splits, right? After completion of input split copying, based on how many splits we have generated, those many number of mappers will be executed. Here we have how many input splits are there? We have only one block. For that purpose itself, we have only one split. Fine. Here we have only one split. For that purpose, it will initiate only one mapper. Again, it will represent the split and it will tell you that only one is split to the name node. The name node only representation of A to generate the mappers, and it will the job tracker in the name node will initiate the mapper. Guys, remember here always the data nodes never initiate the mapper phases. The name node only will have the representation of a mapper generation, mapper initiation, and after initiation of a mapper, how many mappers will be initiated in this example? We have only one split, we have only one mapper. For that purpose, it needs only one task tracker. Let's take it out again. It will send the request to the any one of the task trackers which are available in the respective data nodes. And here, after pumping this entire data to the mapper logic to the data node 2. Suppose I am taking the help of data node 2. Means data node 2 is not participating directly into our execution. Task tracker will take the help of. Okay, the task tracker in data node 2 will execute the mapper logic. Okay, and it will generate a particular output. And after generating this output, again it will store in some spaces. It cannot store in the data nodes. It maintains some RAM, some temporary memory area, and it maintains this output in that memory area. And after finishing this mapper outputs, it will inform to the job tracker. Again, the job tracker which is residing in the name node will initiate a sort and shuffle phase, and it will generate the particular output. After finishing the sort and shuffle phase, the Hadoop will recognize that the next immediate phase is reducer. For that purpose, again the job tracker will initiate a reducer phase on top of this actual split. Actually, that output we have generated a sort and shuffle phase, right? This output is also available for the task tracker which is going to execute it is taking from the temporary memory access, and it will perform the action it perform the reducer logic, and it finally executes the output. Again, the output generation also happens in the taken care by the job tracker. It will take the entire data and it will hand over to the concerned client. Fine. Like this, by if you take this entire architectural help, we have to execute the mapper sort and shuffle reducer. This is the example which explains the, suppose this my.txt which contains only one block. Finally, we are getting the output and we are generating output to the concerned client who has given the client request. We have to, based on the client request, we are generating the response and we are hand over to the client. This is the part of job tracker and task trackers. This is a very important as part of the interview purposes also. What is the job tracker and task trackers of your performances in the MapReduce life cycle? Fine. Here the job tracker always initiates a mapper phases and reducer phases one by one, and it will also perform the, it takes the help of Hadoop framework to driven the sort and shuffle phase also. Fine. And the data nodes are responsible for the executing the tasks. In the data nodes means the task trackers which are residing in the data nodes. Finally, we are achieving the output. Let us take it out. If the my.txt is having a more kind of text, suppose it may have 1000 lines of code. Suppose if my my.txt file may have the 1000 lines of code and we want to transfer this entire architecture, means how it will be, how the things will be happens. Let's check it out. Here, as part of the 1000 lines means, let's check it out. It may have the, it may need the space like 200 MB space. Fine. 200 MB space may be required to store the 100 lines of a code. Textual information. Suppose as part of this 200 MB, how many blocks will be divided and it will be stored? First of all, the data which we are taking in the HDFS, we have to take from the in terms of blocks only. We never take the data by MB or something terabyte like that. We have to explain in terms of blocks only. How many blocks may be needed? 4 blocks. B1, B2, B3. B4. 4 blocks may be needed, and this is the actual data information. It may be replicated in terms of as the 12 blocks, as the default replication factor is 3. Okay, these 4 blocks may be stored in the any one of the 4 blocks. Let's check it out. We have one more data node is also available. In this data node also we have the task tracker information. Fine. Here B1 is there, right? Like this we have a B2, B3, B4, B5. We have 5 blocks on top of these data nodes to represent this 1000 lines of code. My.txt requires only 4 blocks, right? Yes. Only 4 blocks may be needed. First 3 blocks will be 64 MB, remaining data will be stored in the 4th block. Fine. These are the actual informations and first replications of a data. We have another replication of a data is also there. Suppose B1 is also maybe available in the data node 3 or other data nodes, but I am taking the first replication as part of the metadata information. Fine. I am transferring this actual information, my.txt, I am hand over into the name node. Now my.txt, it doesn't have the only one block. It has 4 blocks. Fine. As part of these 4 blocks, it may check it out. The name node will check it out. How many blocks may be needed? 4 blocks. And as part of the job tracker, it will first of all fetch the what are the exact locations of these 4 individual blocks. Then it's time to look about generation of input splits. Here we have to generate a number of splits based on the blocks, as we already given the rule, like input split defaultly the split size will equal to the block size. Here we have generated 4, we need 4 blocks. For that purpose we have to generate 4 individual splits. We need 4 splits to represent the 4 individual blocks. Fine. The job tracker and the name node will assign the things and will generate a 4 blocks, 4 individual splits before going to start the mapper and any phase of the MapReduce life cycle. Okay, we have 4 splits. How many mappers we have to execute? We need to initiate 4 individual mappers. How many number of input splits are there? Those many number of mappers we have to generate. Mapper 1, mapper 2, mapper 3, mapper 4. This is very important. the mapper generations, it cannot be included by the programmer, and either it cannot be included with the normal size. It must be the mapper size will always will take the rule like based on the input splits only. Fine. Suppose as part of the manual configuration, I can change this input split size. Suppose I am taking the input split size as 128 byte, 128 MB. I can take it out. No need. There is no restriction to take this take this input split size as 128 MB. Okay. After taking this 128 MB as the input split size, how many blocks will be, how many splits will be generated? In the previous example, I am taking the split size as equal to the number of blocks. For that purpose, if we take the split size as, remember guys, if we take the split size as equal to the block size, in this example, we need 4 splits. Fine. We need 4 splits, and those many 4 number of mappers may be generated. And here, if we take the split size as 128 MB, we can also configure the split size. I will tell you how, in which ways mapred-site.xml one configuration file is there in Hadoop cluster. We can also configure the input split size. Fine. Okay, I am giving the mapred in the split size as 128 MB, and here we may need only 2 splits. Yes or no? Here, these are the splits are the logical memory areas to store the data. 2 blocks in one split, another 2 blocks will be stored in the one more split. For that purpose, how many mappers will be initiated? Only 2 mappers. Remember guys, the mapper generation always take the help of input split number only. Suppose in architecture architecture suggests 2 splits. Based on the configuration, job tracker will initiate 2 mappers. Suppose it suggests the 4 mappers, 4 splits, it generate 4 mappers. Okay. Now, previously we have only 1 mapper, we already seen how to execute mappers. Then, let's check it out. Now, we have a mappers as 4 and 2. Fine. Suppose we have 4 mappers, how the execution will be executed. As a job tracker, it first execute a phase of mapper. Yes or no? As part of this, we have 4 locations. It cannot perform the operation like performing the logic on B1, B2, B3, B4 as a 1 by 1. It maintains a parallel processing. It initiates 4 mappers on top of these 4 blocks at a time. Fine. The job tracker will initiate a mapper phase on top of all 4 blocks by executing 4 mappers, by taking the help of 4 mapper classes. Fine. By executing these 4 mappers on top of these 4 blocks, how many outputs we may expected? As the job tracker, it may be we are giving 4 requests to these 4 blocks. Fine. This is the map 1, map 2, map 3, and this is a map 4 request we are generating to the respective data nodes. Means respective task trackers in the data nodes. Fine. We generated the mappers. After completion of mapper execution, the task trackers may give the output, right? The output also includes 4 individual outputs. Got it? Let us check it out. How the thing will be happens. Suppose we have given 1000 lines, right? 1000 lines of code is there, right? Let us check it out. This only. Let us increase the file content. Let's take the file content as this is Hadoop. Like these lines we have 100. This is the first line, and we have in between 99 lines. The 100th line is again. This is Hadoop. This is also a 100th line. This is the first line, and after that we have some more 100 lines. We are keeping HDFS. Again we are keeping MapReduce. The information about MapReduce and the information about HDFS. I am keeping this information as a my.txt. Now this is the second example which we are discussing about the mappers. Now check it out. This is the input I am transferring here, which contains the 1000 lines. Fine. Here it may be divided. The first of all, before going to the store, that it will the entire file into a number of into a HDFS. It divides into a number of blocks. Let us take it out. On 50th line again we have a one block. Like this I have divided in terms of 4 blocks: B1, B2, B3, B4. I divided a 4 blocks as part of the HDFS architecture. As part of the textual information, we have to generate in terms of blocks as the physical locations, and we have to store the data. Fine. Okay, we have done the block creation, and it's time to look about mappers and input splits. Same number of input splits will be executed, M1, M2, M3, M4, and we are executing in terms of mappers on top of task trackers. Now check it out. What is the output I am going to expect? Here we have, this is Hadoop, like the information is there, right? Same information. What the output of this block I may expect, like what's the output I can expect? Here this was repeated. So let's check it out. We have 50 lines. Okay, this is the 51th line and 100. In between 50 lines I am copying same file. Can you check it out how many times it got repeated? This has 50, is 50, and Hadoop got repeated another 50 times. Yes or no? Now come to block 2. Mapper 2 also gives the output on top of block 2 execution, on top of split 2 execution. Fine. And the second task tracker's output for the mapper 2 is also same content I am keeping here. Again this got repeated 50 times, is got 50, and Hadoop got 50 times. Fine. Like this we have to generate the output. It may be generate the output based on the individual mappers. Fine. After completion of mapper, this is the output which is in the temporary memory area, and it's time to look for the sort and shuffle phase. As part of the sort and shuffle phase, it will take this entire data and it will perform the sorting and shuffling of on top of this data. Suppose after performing this data, what's the output we may expect? Actually here, after performing this mapper output, we are including only one. This has one like this. The actual output like this look like is, as the mapper output, it never give the 50 here itself. This is 1. This 1. Sorry, it will give like this, right? This is Hadoop like this. Let us check it out. The output of a block mapper 1. This is the mapper 1 output. Okay. This 1 is 1 and Hadoop 1. Like this we have 50 iterations. Fine. And after this is the output of mapper 1, and MapReduce 2 is also have the same content in the terms of 50. For that purpose, it may be again the same output will be repeated, as the content is also repeated 50 times. We have 50 iterations of this. Like this we have a mapper 3 output and mapper 4 output in the same way, and it's time to execute sort and shuffle. In the sort and shuffle, we have to sort this entire data and we have to shuffle it. How we can perform? Hadoop, as alphabetically Hadoop, it got repeated how many times if you combine entire things, it cannot, the sort and shuffle will be taken care by the entire all 4 mapper outputs. It cannot take the only mapper 1 output and mapper 2 output. It will shuffle all the data, all the 4 outputs. Fine. For that purpose, here in the first mapper the Hadoop got repeated 50 times. In second mapper, Hadoop got repeated 50 times. By combining these, Hadoop got repeated as a 100 times. Hundred times got repeated. Hadoop will be repeated in the as part of the sort and shuffle phase. Fine. And here, after performing this sort and shuffle phase, what is the here is also repeated as a 100 times. Same thing. Is 1 like this is 1. It is also included 100 times like this. However, we are performing the HDFS and MapReduce content also. MapReduce 3 and MapReduce 4 also. If the Hadoop got repeated in these mappers also means it is also included here itself. Fine. Based on this, till now we are executing the task as a individual and we are generating individual outputs. By combining all individual 4 outputs as the example of 4 mappers, it will combine 4 mapper output into a one single output. Okay, as the Hadoop and 100 ones. For that purpose itself, we need single key and multiple list of values. Here the key is Hadoop, here list of values is 100 ones. Here the output will be look like this. Key is Hadoop, okay, and the output is, the values are 1, 1 like this. We have 100 ones. Here it may be generate the value like Hadoop as 100 ones like this. Fine. After performing, this is the sort and shuffle output. We have to transfer this output to the reducer. The reducer will take this input as this Hadoop one single value and multiple list of values, and it will generate a single output. Now guess what is the output here? It includes all the things. Hadoop as 100 and we have is also 100 times. This is also 100 times. Fine. In the same way, HDFS also repeated 50 times and a MapReduce is also repeated 50 times. Like this. Let's take a look. Some HDFS 100 and MapReduce 50. How many times it got repeated? Based on the number count only, we have to generate this output. This is the flow of if we have the multiple mappers. Fine. Sometimes we may need the multiple reducers also. Here we need only one reducer. Fine. If the output of this sort and shuffle phase is having the more space, is required more space means it may be generated automatically more number of reducers as part of the mapper size. Fine. Suppose you can also restrict the reducer to only one. We can also restrict the reducers as a multiple times. Multiple reducers also we can generate it. Generation of the reducer based on the content is defaultly given by the Hadoop framework. I cannot restrict this in this reducer have this data only like this. But as part of the manually we can partition the data. We have to generate only HDFS data to reducer 2, only Hadoop data to reducer 1, MapReduce data to reducer 3. Like that also we can calculate it. It is advanced to the MapReduce. I will tell you later whenever the time will come. But this is the actual scenario whenever we are dealing with the MapReduce lifecycle. This entire things will be performing by the internally. Fine. And here this generation of input splits, and here by taking the generation, converting the actual data information into key value pairs, entire things will be happens in terms of input format class. We have the input format and record reader classes are there. What is the purpose of input format and record reader is? See, as part of the input format, it generates the data into a key value pairs and it will maintains the used mapper input. Okay, as part of the key value pairs. And as part of the record reader, it may be transferred to it may be loaded the data into in terms of logical locations like splits. From the splits, we need to take the data to process the mapper logic. This task will be handled by the record reader. We have the internally we have two more phases are there, input split and record reader classes to execute this entire MapReduce lifecycle. Fine. This is the entire internal architecture of MapReduce lifecycle, and as part of the basic word count we have taken, right? We also take the help of, we also create one file with this some sample code, sample textual information, and we will perform this mapper logic and reducer logic as part of the Java programming language, and we will generate the same output which you are got it. Fine. Let's see the internal purpose programmatical manner how to achieve this MapReduce lifecycle. Fine.